Hello, everyone. You're welcome back today.
Yeah.
It's nice having you for another beautiful episode of Wonder Health. And today, as you know, my name is Fola Shade Ofurune. I'm the Executive Director of Health Education and Empowerment Initiative, Canada Incorporated. And today, we'll be talking about mental health. You are the ones that chose the topic. So let's enjoy. A brief introduction of what Wonder Health is all about. It's actually a public health program that we started last year, November, and it's community led, based in the library. The aim is to provide accessible, culturally relevant, and practical health knowledge to people in the community for your enjoyment. And it's going to, has talks, demonstrations, videos, and everything, activities, all in it. So today, we are talking about mental health, which is, let's say, the health of our brain. And what is mental health? It's actually a state of well-being that enables us to cope with stresses of life, for us to be able to realize our abilities, for us to learn well and work well, and also for us to be able to contribute to the community. It's a state in our brain that helps us to do all this. So when we are not able to do all this, then we can say we have some mental health issues. So some of the key facts about it is that more than 1 billion people all over the world are living with one mental health condition or the other. So it's not, let me say, peculiar. And but the good news is there is affordable, effective treatment for mental health, even though it's so popular. So I would like us to watch here to like that would be first of all a list of some of mental health issues, anxiety, depression, but we will not be focusing more on the negativity of mental health. We'll be focusing more on what is the condition so that we understand what we mean by somebody has a mental health illness. And then we can see how little things we do, little things we don't do, how we feel, so that we can see, oh, this is actually a sign of mental health. But because we are so, let me say, blind to it, we do not take cognizance of it. So I will be showing a video that helps us to talk more about mental health so that I don't have to do a lot of talking.
We all have mental health. It is just as important as physical health. It is not only about mental illness or mental disorders. This is just one part of a bigger picture. It's best to think about mental health as being on a continuum, rather than people being either mentally ill or mentally well. We are all on the continuum, and we move up and down according to factors such as our genetic makeup and upbringing, our life circumstances, and the stresses we are under. At one end of the continuum, we have mental disorders, like depression or anxiety. And at the other end, we have states of positive mental health, when we're thriving, content, and fulfilled. The aim of mental health interventions is to move people up the continuum so that they're able to reach their full potential and live satisfying lives. The World Health Organization describes mental health as a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Being mentally healthy means being resilient and able to cope with difficult times, feeling in control, being confident, feeling good about yourself, managing and expressing your emotions, building and maintaining good relationships. We all experience periods when we feel stressed, worried, anxious, sad, afraid, or angry. These are all normal emotions. However, when these emotions become severe enough that it interferes with a person's ability to function daily, and these feelings become persistent over time, then it can develop into a mental health problem. There are many different types of mental disorders. When left untreated, mental disorders can be chronic and long-lasting and are associated with increased disability. They significantly have an impact on daily functioning and frequently interfere with family, social, and work responsibilities. Fortunately, there are effective treatments and evidence-based interventions available that aim to help individuals understand and cope with symptoms of mental illness. However, very few people with mental disorders access existing treatment services. This may be due to barriers such as the stigma attached to seeking help, the lack of understanding of mental health problems, uncertainty of how to get help, or the fear of disclosing mental health problems. Research shows that stigma remains one of the biggest factors preventing people from seeking help early for their mental health problems and getting the appropriate support they need. It is important to acknowledge that we all have mental health and have a personal responsibility to learn how we can improve and maintain our well-being in order to lead meaningful and satisfying lives. Want to learn how you can do this? Great news! Why not join one of our communities and keep exploring Maudsley Learning online?
So you can see from this video, it's not this person has mental health illness, this person is mentally okay. It's like a ladder. We go up, we go down, we go up, we go down. We are not always up and we are not always down. So long as we are able to function and do everything that we're supposed to do, then we know we are going towards the up. So this is just a very nice video to help us understand what mental health is. Next, I want to show another video again. So now we'll be talking a little about, there are more videos in this series. And so we're talking about some risk factors, means what are the things that can predispose us to a situation where we are not doing very well up at that ladder, experiencing discrimination, and being in the diaspora. We know what this means. There is racism, there is bullying, there is different types. It's a very, very high risk factor for mental health issues. Having lack of access to housing, healthcare, or education, especially housing, for instance, it is noted that the more somebody becomes homeless, the more that person has a tendency to have mental health issues, especially PTSD. Because that stress of, I don't even know where I'm going to put my head. When you don't even know where you want to put your head, you sit down here, they tell you move away, you can't stay in front of our place. You go to this place, they send you away, and there is winter, or there is rain, or the sun is too high, or you are not feeling well, yet there is nobody, nowhere to put your head. It leads to a lot of mental health issues. Then lack of employment or economic opportunities. You have bills to pay, you have house rent, you have school fees, you have healthcare, you have so many things to do, but you cannot find job. Continue high risk, continued exposure to this kind of stress can lead to mental health issues. Adverse childhood experiences or violence. When the environment that children are brought up, if they are brought up in a place where there is a lot of trauma, maybe severe beating, or they are brought up to in a place where the father and the mother are always fighting, there is never any peace in that home, or the child never knows where they will sleep, because we have a lot of people who are homeless that they have children. Those kind of environment can expose somebody to mental health. Or social isolation. Everybody just keeps you apart. Nobody wants to be your friend. Nobody wants to associate with you. You are just on your own. Like nobody wants to deal with you. And with for not like there's anything wrong with you, but they just stigmatize you. It can lead to mental health issues. poor emotional or well-being coping skills. So when we are raising children, our children should know how to cope with their feelings. So a child that is used to throwing tantrums because he wants candy and mommy and daddy doesn't want to give the child the candy, and the child cannot learn to control himself, those children over time they lead to mental health issues because by the time, for example, they get to a place and they are always throwing tantrums, people like, oh, don't play with him, don't play with him, don't play with her, don't play with her. She's a very bad boy, or he's a very bad boy, she's a very bad girl. And that child gradually begins to feel isolation and is beginning to wonder why uh people are leaving me, or he's used to people up. Even when he throws a tantrum, he gets what he wants at home, but now he goes out and he throws the tantrum and nobody's looking at him, like nobody's like, what do you mean? Nobody cares about your tantrum. So now he's like, what is going on? Normally if I shout at them or I insult them, I get my way. Why are these people not responding? It causes some mental. Then some medical conditions like cancer or brain injuries and use of alcohol or drugs. Prolonged use because it affects the brain. So then the person can develop some mental health issues. Next, we talk about protective factors, which are the things we can do to protect. You know, when you protect something, it means that you are just like a covering over it. So, having quality employment, stable housing, education, having social connections. Like this event we are holding right now is a form of social connection. You come here, you talk to others, we discuss, we play, we laugh, you decompress. But a situation where you don't have that kind of environment, then that is a risk factor. But when you have an environment where there is social connection, there is positive relationship between the husband and the wife, between the parents and the children, in the community, in the school, we should always try to foster positive relationship. Let's try to avoid unnecessary fight. We don't always have to be right. Sometimes for peace to reign, you can just let it go. So long as it's not something very, very important. And at that time, you might say, okay, if I want to talk about it, how about you just leave it for now? Let there be peace. Then when everybody's temper has gone down, we talk about it. Then coping skills. We should train our children and ourselves to be able to cope when we face pressure. Because we will always face pressure. Not everybody will like us. Our boss may decide not to like us. We might have issues with our in-laws. Our neighbors may hate us. We need to be able to develop several coping strategies for it. And living in a community that is safe, where we have protective care for both physical and mental health. And we need to understand that mental health is not in isolation. Our physical health can affect our mental health. Our mental health can affect our physical health. Somebody who has a eating disorder, for instance, which is a mental health condition, and he or she keeps eating and eating obsessively, they become obese. When they become obese, they are prone to heart issues, diabetes, and what have you. Do you see how they affect each other? And somebody who has brain injury, maybe has an accident and hit the head on the ground and the brain is affected, he or she may begin to feel depressed or may become anxious. You may not even have hit your body part. You may just be involved in that accident. The trauma, it affects it. So, but when we understand what are the things we can do to protect it, we will always try to safeguard our mental health. Now, this is like a chart that shows us what to look out for at each point in time. From childhood to 11 years old, we should try to make sure that these children develop at their time. Remember, when we have children, we take them to the health center or the clinic. They always measure their head, their arm, their weight, their height. It looks like, what are they looking for? They want to see that this child is growing well, because that those things they are measuring is showing that the child is meeting what he should meet. It's showing that that child is having the nutrition that he needs, so that the brain can grow well, so that the bone can grow well. That is what they are looking for. When these children have or meet all those milestones, and we help them to have healthy social skills, they should know how to make friends. Because you cannot be a friend, you cannot have a friend without being a friend. You must be friendly. If you are not friendly, how do you want to maintain your friendship with people? So that's when we do that foundation at that stage. At the stage of adolescence, which is like 12 to 17 years, we begin to see, because they are this stage, they are growing up, they are becoming teenagers. Now we have to start looking at their behaviors, help them to establish positive behaviors. Because at that point, most of those behaviors that they establish in those teenage years becomes what they begin to do as they grow older. So they need to have social skills, emotional balance, uh, preventing exposure to violence. Because at that point, they are very vulnerable. When we are at the teenage age, we always want to belong. We always want to feel relevant. But because they are all still growing up, sometimes some children become unnecessarily mean to another kid. But we have to learn to be able to teach our children to understand that you don't need anybody to validate who you are. You are good enough. You are beautiful. So positive comments. Comment your children. Oh, you are beautiful. Do you know I love you? I love you so much. Let's normalize positive interaction between us and our teenagers. It's true they can be disobedient because of they want to, their mates are doing this and that, and you say no, you can't do it. They can choose to begin to challenge the authority. They are actually just learning how relationship works. They are using you like a sounding board. If I do this, what do I get? If I do that, what do I get? So you are the one that will let them know if you don't obey the house rules. When I tell you when you come back you'll be grounded, then you make sure he is grounded. So next time he knows that if I try that, this is what I get. And you'll be consistent. So that way it helps their brain that okay, if I don't want to be grounded, then I have to obey the house rules. And don't say, okay, even when that child is now obeying the house rule, don't then say you will still ground him. Because now you're causing confusion. Because now the boy will now be like, what do you want? I'm obeying the house rules and you're still grounding me. And when I don't obey it, you will still ground me. So, what do you want? We have to be consistent. That consistency in our interaction, in our discipline, or whatever that we are doing for them, will help with their mental health. And we need to be particular about this age because half of the children that develop mental health issues start at the age of 14. Half of the children in the world. So that we need to be very serious. When we have children about that age 14, we need to take it as something important so that they can successfully pass this age and then move to the adulthood where they have hopefully developed those coping skills and then now they have positive uh, relationship. They are looking forward to something. So this child has finished high school and this child now is going to the college, is going to trade school, is going to volunteering, or they are getting married. They must have something to look forward to. Not like they don't even know what to do, like there is no future, there is no plan for them. They need to have goals to look up to. This kind of environment gives them positive mental health because now maybe they apply to college and they get their admission. They'll be very happy. Oh, September I'll be going to this college, I'll be going to this university, I'll be going for apprenticeship, I'll be going for trade, I'll be learning this skill. They have something to look forward to. Then at middle age, which is like 27 to 65, there are a lot of stresses that begin to happen because then you now know that life is not bed of roses. You have to take care of children if you have children, if you are married, to manage it, your job and stuff. At this point, we need to reduce stress, and guide our peace. Anything that stresses us as much as possible, whatever it is, let's do away with it. Let's guide our peace at our workplace, in our relationship, with friends, in the family, everything we do. Let's try to make sure that we have a stress free environment for ourselves. In every situation we can. It's not possible to have 100% stress free, you know. At some point in time, we can be stressed, but we need to try to bring it down. Then, as adulthood becomes, at this point, the health is deteriorating, physical health is deteriorating. Now, they are beginning to lose somebody like age 65 and above. Maybe the person's the mother is has passed, the father has passed, or their spouse has passed. They are beginning to feel lonely. At that point, what they need is social connection because they mostly some of their friends have passed too, and people don't even remember them because if you want to get your grandmother to get dressed, it will take her a long time to get her scarf tied and get her walking stick, while the younger ones have already jumped into the car. So because of it, people don't take them out to events, people don't visit them, people don't involve them in things. So they often face social isolation. At this point in time, this is where what we have built, the relationships we have built at adolescence, youth, and middle adulthood, that is when they come to play. So we have to keep our friends, we have to keep our connections. Pick your phone, say hi to that your friend you've seen a long time. Oh, I'm just driving by, I just want to say hi to you. Make the connection, involve yourself in community activities, programs like this, volunteering. You have already built it. So when you grow to that 65 years old, you are not alone. You have something to keep you socially involved. And because you have reduced stress, you are probably less likely to develop mental health issues. Now, how we talk watch we putting on another video here that talks about mental health wellness.
Hi, I'm John. I'm 37, and for most of my adult life, I've struggled with mental illness. The medication I take helps most of the time, but sometimes when I'm stressed or overworked, my symptoms creep up on me, and I have to work really hard to get them under control again. But over the years, I've learned a few strategies that have helped me deal with my symptoms before they become a big problem. These tips have really helped me stay healthy and positive. First, I try to focus on the positive things in my life. I think about the family, friends, and treatment team members supporting me in my recovery journey. I know they are there to help me find solutions. If I come up with solutions instead of just focusing on the negatives, I find I feel much better. And each day, I deliberately take time to appreciate and recognize everything I'm thankful for. I'll write in my journal, send my friends thank you cards, or help others. When I focus on all the good stuff in my life, I don't spend as much time thinking about the bad stuff. Next, it's really important for me to connect with others. Being around my friends and family always puts me in a better mood and helps my self-esteem. These meaningful relationships help me maintain a positive attitude, which gives me space for personal growth. It's also very important for me to stay physically fit. I try to eat a healthy diet, exercise a little each day, and get enough sleep, as directed by my physician. I always feel great after I work out, even if it's just a walk around the block. One of the hardest things for me was developing coping skills that worked for me. It was tough to learn how to respond in a healthy way to stress, sadness, criticism, and negativity. When I learned what worked for me, I was able to get back to being myself. One way I learned to cope is by writing about my negative experiences and how they made me feel. I also got professional help when I needed it. I learned to recognize the signs and symptoms that I knew were warning signs that I was not doing so well, and I found it's better to reach out for help sooner rather than later. Asking for help takes courage, and I am so glad I asked my wife to help me find a therapist. My therapist helps me in ways that my friends and family can't. Don't get me wrong, their support is also very important to me. It took me a while to start putting these strategies into play. It didn't happen overnight. I tried them one by one. Some work better for me than others, but everyone's different. So I take my medication as directed by my doctor. And when I'm feeling extra stressed, I know I have the tools to help me get back on track. Talk with your doctor, try these tips, and find the strategies that work for you.
I hope we've been able to see those coping skills we're talking about. One of the ones I really find very interesting is the journaling. Having a book to write down how you feel. It works so well. Now, we'll be looking at some real life stories of people who struggled with mental health issues. These stories, the essence is for us to reflect on them, for us to possibly see ourselves in them, so that when we see that some of the things they experience, maybe we experience something similar, and today we are not having mental health issues, but that person had it. We're like, oh, so that can lead to this. So you will see that there is no, oh, this person is made to have bad mental health. This person is made to have good mental health. We are still going to talk about some myths, but it's going to be 3 videos. The first one will describe kind of what mental health is. It's a group of youth that are talking about what mental health feels like. This particular video will show us some of the things we experience every day. We did not know that it's actually mental health. We would think it's just normal. But they, in that discussion, will be like, oh, so that is me having some mental health feelings. Yes, that's it. And then we talk about childhood trauma. We see a little kid and we see a story. Then we talk about how an adult also struggled with it. So we decided to use 3 different age groups so that we can see that experience and possibly learn from it.
um, Depression, and anxiety, and also just feeling like I'm not good enough, feeling like people aren't going to accept me for what I am.
Sadness, stress, depression, anger.
Being anxious, anxiety, fear, anger, and frustration.
Anxiety and embarrassment are the top of the list of very intense emotions that I deal with.
Well, I had anger and heartbreak with the main ones.
Being insecure about myself, like the way I look and like my body size.
I can usually just like keep to myself, kind of. I'm not really like joking around or anything like that.
I feel sick to my stomach and as if nothing can go right.
I feel like just like alone, and I feel like nobody can understand what I'm going through. It just kind of feels like I'm like this twig that's a walking twig that just goes anywhere and everywhere.
It's just like emptiness, like a gap. Like kind of just like is gone away from my life or so.
You just want to scream, and it's like your life is all one big puzzle.
I get shaky and my stomach gets sick and my mind is jumping to the worst case scenarios and it's all over the place, jumping to conclusions.
My mind kind of like clamps together in a way, and I can't like pick out each and every thought that I can because it just swirls around, and I can't like grab it and kind of work through it.
My heart is racing. I can't speak really clearly. I'm like kind of sweaty and just kind of not looking too great.
I like just get really paranoid and don't know what to do.
Sometimes it's like I get like this knot in my throat because I know that what I'm feeling, I can't express it, or you can't say it.
I want to punch everything around me. Like I want to punch a wall, a bed,
And when I take pictures of myself, I kind of use a black and white filter to tell me that everything will look the same and nothing will change.
take some deep breaths and some music and talking to someone. It usually helps.
I listen to music, often music that either has to do with the things that I'm feeling or music that will make me feel the opposite of what I'm feeling. And I tell myself that whatever I'm feeling or going through, it's all going to get better and that it will end eventually.
I try to just think positive, have positive thoughts, and say I can get through it. Or I just try to just breathe and just relax.
I usually write a poem, or I'll try to figure out some kind of jazz chords to play on my piano to mellow my mood a little bit. So
I try to remind myself that I'm not the only one who feels this way. I try to pull myself down to make everything go away.
So, who of us has never felt like that before? We all have felt something.
Yeah, when we were young.
Even when, as adults sometimes. Because you're like, what's my life going on like this? What's going on? You just thinking of worst scenarios and never thinking about anything positive. Or you feel hungry, like I want to break this thing. Frustrating, sweating. We all have gone through it. We all keep going through it. So at that point, we are experiencing some form of mental health stress. It may not have become an illness because we are able to snap out of it. And you remember, it's a ladder. We keep going up and we keep coming down. We keep going up and we keep coming down. We keep trying to remain up. Now we're going to talk about the childhood one so that possibly we are able to see through the eyes of a child.
I want to be in the dark by myself alone. I want to be unconscious. I think that my ADHD and depression, anxiety are all definitely directly related to my childhood. I moved to Ohio when I was 8 years old because my father had passed away. He had cancer, and how my mom took it afterwards. Started to have a really bad drinking problem and started taking prescription medications all the time. As a kid, I was always afraid something was going to happen. I've always been anxious. I mean, the depression didn't seem to start until I was in my teens or sophomore year. It definitely hit a crisis point there where it came close to hospitalizing her for suicidal ideation. The hardest part was just feeling so helpless, like nothing we could do would really hell, depression is like this for anyone. I'm sure it kind of pulls everybody in, like a black hole. It's something that's real that people don't understand. It's like a monster, like something in the back of your head.
It's not fun to talk about. People don't talk about it. The more we can talk about it, the less people will feel alone.
Everything changed when I got to Ohio, except that one of the first things that we did was get me back into the music program. When I'm playing violin, like, everything just kind of goes away. It's a form of therapy. I know that I'm strong.
See? What led her to it is what is happening at home. The dad, they lost the father. The mom became so depressed, she started using drugs. And the girl is always scared. Something bad is going to happen. Something bad is going to happen. And that was the life she lived until she was 8 years old. And 8 years old, she was adopted by her uncle and aunt. You'll be like, okay, thank God it's over, right? But when did the problem start showing? The teenage years that we're talking about. The problem that was from little kid to 8 years started showing at the teenage years. And fortunately for her, she has supportive parents to take care of her, give her medication. And one thing she said is going for music is something that helped her. So I'm very happy that parents, you people are taking effort to put your children into activities where they can have some form of outlet. So the last one is a video on an adult this time around, like somebody in the 20s or 30s.
I want to be in the
Remembering that life is beautiful is essential, but life is beautifully complicated. It wasn't easy for any of them, but I'm also sure that it was beautiful for them to see me recover. Be lovingly supportive of the process and just treat the depressed person as a person who's basically going through a process. Life was just bleak. One of the most difficult experiences that comes with depression is this experience of self-persecution. And my mom was instrumental.
Parang kami yung dalawang pillars ng family, and he was breaking down. If I break down, wala namang nangyayari sa buong family. So that thought kept me going through. And to see him so broken, that was really very difficult. Parang ako yung namamatay.
I was diagnosed and struggling at the same time in my relationship at work with myself.
In the picture that he was just trying to smile, but he was not really happy. This was really the moments when he was at the height of depression. For us who know him, that was already a telling sign.
Mga unang pagkakataon, defensive ako. Hindi ko kaya tanggapin. So I was blocking off the reactions of other people.
He couldn't function. He was too depressed to the point that at night, he would knock at my door and request to sleep beside me, like a baby.
Because I didn't want to leave the house, and going to work was a struggle. Speaking was a struggle. Sleeping was a struggle. Thinking was a very, very big struggle.
It took some time before the family could really see that there's something going on. And it's all smiles here, but you do not know at the back of this picture were so many sleepless nights.
Kasi ang kulit ko nun. As in, tatawag ako sa nanay ko para lang humingi ng assurance na hindi ako masamang tao. Ganun tipo. Dahil nga umaga-umaga, makakatanggap siya ng text mula sa anak niya na nagsusorry.
Saan ako nagkamali, saan ako nagkulang, para ako masisiraan ng bait. Kasi paulit-ulit, bakit ganon? It was just pure pain. Especially Angelo. Parang he's the son everybody wishes to have. Very loving, he's very talented, he's very intelligent.
Depression was slowly eating me. And I was just allowing myself to be eaten up.
What did I do wrong? Ano nagkulang? So I had to go through my own journey. So when I noticed that I was becoming weak, I really looked for help from my friends. I went to a doctor, to a psychiatrist to get help.
She advised me to seek help. Sobrang overwhelming eh. Nakakonsulta sa doktor, so may medical perspective. I was also having my own perspective that this is how life is treating me for the mistakes that I have committed in the past. It's very difficult to experience being put down by one's own self. The denial comes with the stigma that society associates with depression.
When the doctor told me that they had to be confined, I just knew I couldn't handle this alone and I had to trust the doctor. Unang-una, yung habang nasa clinic siya, yung pagdalaw, yung pag-communicate na hindi siya nag-iisa, hindi siya pinababayaan. Pangalawa, yung pakikinig. Merong times na medyo nakakapagod pakinggan, yung mga kwento ni Angelo, paulit-ulit, na mabigat, na gusto na niya mamatay, na... It was very difficult for me to listen to that. Ganon din sa mga kapatid niya.
That's why it's important for the person who's experiencing depression to be able to talk to others, so that people will be able to understand what's really happening with them. That's why I'm deeply grateful for the love that they showered me when I was going through the darkness.
So parang doon ko hinahanap, kinuha yung faith na things will get better. I guess that sense of trust, sense of faith kept me alive, kept me going.
It's only temporary. In fact, it can be an experience that can change the lives of those who will completely embrace the depression. It's a great realization. It's liberating.
Yung role ng family, I cannot underestimate it. I think Angelo can say na kung hindi, dahil the fact that we stuck together as a family, hindi sana nagkaroon ng opportunity na makarecover siya. Hindi naman yung sinasadya ni Angelo, at definitely hindi namin sinadya. Nobody in the family, especially me, meant it to happen. Hindi siya talaga sa dami ng pera o kung gaano ka-educated yung family. Any family going to depression really can do it if they just stick together.
Treat the depressed person as a person who's basically going through a process. A person who's able to experience depression and attain healing will be a better member of society.
Unang-una, to accept that we needed help. It's not something that we have to carry alone. And second, that there's hope.
I'm telling you my story because someone close to you just might need you to listen. Do not judge, and please do not give up on them. Just be with them and listen, and experience healing with them.
Now we see it from an adult angle. It's a real thing. And the mother is wondering, where did she go wrong? Because in the family, it seems like there's no problem. But look at how he went so down. There's a picture of him smiling. The mother said that was the worst stage of depression that he was in. And he was laughing, hiding how he's feeling from everyone. So when we see our friends, our family members, the way they behave is changing. Somebody who used to laugh a lot is becoming withdrawn. Somebody who used to talk a lot is not talking anymore. Somebody who used to be very we join is now talking too much, then we know we need to do something. Now, to care for our mental health, we need to avoid drugs and alcohol. We need to spend time with our friends and families. Like he said, having the support of the family really helped him. Maintain good routine. Exercises, sleep, meals are very important. So here we will be starting exercises too, which will help us to keep fit. And then setting realistic goals and focus, which take us back to when at that age, when like the kid is 18 going to 20 something, having an idea of I want to go to college, I want to go for trade and what have you. So what are the ways mental health is taken care of? First, the person needs to be diagnosed by a physician, and then the person might have to take medication, peer group support, and mental health support in non-health settings. Like there are other settings like where we are now, where there are so many mental health groups that are. We have one right here in Sussex where people go to just talk out. There are a lot of groups on Facebook or other social media that is for mental health. Joining those groups that are positive may be of help too. Now, I come to my favorite point. Where are the myths? One of them is a person with mental health does not have intelligence. Is that true?
No.
No! Anybody can have it.
Sometimes they can be more smart, like smarter than normal people.
Yes, you're right. They can be smarter than the regular people. They can have good job. They can have everything looking nice. So it's like a physical illness. Anybody can have it. The second one is when poor mental health is not a big issue for teenagers, because they just have mood swing, hormones, and they always do that because they want attention. No, teenagers do have mental health issues, and like I said, at least half of the children that develop mental health issues start at the age of 14. So we really need to take it very importantly, the mental health of our teenagers. Another myth is nothing can be done to protect people from developing it. Everybody will get it. It's compulsory. That's false. There are a lot of things that we can do to protect ourselves from it. Having good social and emotional skills, seeking help and support at the early stage. When we find that we are always feeling sad, always never positive, always having anger issues, then it's time to speak to our doctor so that he can or they can place us into maybe medication or groups or whatever to help us deal with it on time. And having a good relationship, a loving one, is good school environment. And this is very important because when our children go to school, let's normalize asking them how really was their day. What happened? I want to know what's going on. Did somebody bully you? And educators need to act on it when children complain about being bullied. Please speak up. Do something to protect the person that is the victim, not the bully. Because we have found situations where a child is being bullied and the child is reporting to the school, nothing is being done. And then the day when the victim gets mad and reacts, then the victim is suspended. That's weird. We are not protecting the victim. We need to protect the school, make the school an anti-bully environment. And that's why I think, which country was that? Is it Japan, if I'm right? They have a law where if somebody is known to be a bully, they cannot get admission into the university. Yes. And the law is named against the son of one of their major ministers, whose son was a bully in the high school to the extent that the person he was bullying wanted to take his life. And the father tried to get him into the university, and so it became a law. Once you are a bully, it's in your record in the school. The university or the college that wants to admit you will seek that record. Once they found that you are a bully, you can never get admission to university in that country. So that that is very, very important. Also, you only need to take care of your mental health if you have a mental health condition. So if you don't have any diagnosis of mental health, then you don't need to take care of your mental health. It's a lie. Everybody needs to take active effort to promote our well-being. Like I said, protect your peace, reduce stress at every point in time. Even if you don't have depression, even if you don't have anxiety, do not wait until it gets to that point. And then lastly, mental health condition is a sign of weakness. Stronger people cannot have it. Is that true? It's a lie. Anybody can have it. It's not a matter whether you are weak or you are strong. No, anybody can have it. Nobody, you cannot say I want to have mental health issues or I don't want to have it. Anybody can have it. Another myth is adolescents with good grades and friends will not have mental health conditions. False, because depression is very common among them. So even they might even have good grades, they might have good friends, and they're depressed. Because like that man said in his own, said he put up a show to disguise how he's feeling from people. So we still need to put an eye on them. Bad parenting causes mental health conditions. Is that so? False, because even in the other story, there is nothing in the family that is responsible, but this man still developed depression. So, but other factors like poverty, unemployment, exposure to violence, even migration. So those of us that left our countries and moved to other countries is a very big thing in the lives of our children. That is why we need to give them the support they need so that they are able to cope. Because now there's a difference in culture, a difference in food, a difference in environment, and it can really impact them negatively. So we come to the last stage. If you can grab a piece of this activity sheet, which is the Ponder Quadrant, which is it's an activity that we use to support awareness, empowerment, and informed action. So I want us to think back. What is the one thing today that you already know or believe? Or how do you feel? Or one question you have today? Note it down under reflect. Is there one question you have today? You can write it down under the reflect. Or it's a feeling. It may not be a question, it may be a feeling. You may feel, oh, I think I might be developing some form of mental health condition because I'm always scared, easily scared. That's a feeling. Then we go to the other quadrant, which is relearn. One new insight or fact that I learned today. What is the one thing that is new that you learned today? Write it down. Or one myth that you did not know is a myth, but we clarified it today. You can put it down under the relearn quadrant. Under the act quadrant, what is the one small action I can take to protect my mental health, or the mental health of my children, or the mental health of my family? What is that one thing? You can write it down there. Or one conversation that I can have. Am I thinking of, I need to have a conversation with my husband. I need to have a conversation with my wife. I need to have a conversation with my children. Because we need to do something to protect the mental health of this family. Perhaps our neighbor is being nasty to us. What can we do as a family so that what that neighbor is doing does not get to us? We can write it down. Remember, it's yours to take home. So feel free to write whatever you want there. Then, one thing that helps you feel strong from what we have seen today. What is one thing you see or that you know you have that you feel, yes, it can help me to cope with my mental health as a family or as an individual? Or one support or affirmation I choose. What is that thing you want to say to yourself positively or that you want to do to make yourself thrive. Because our aim is to look through it, to reflect, to relent, to act, and to thrive. So, that being said, when you are done with it or while you are doing it, please feel free to ask questions.
Actually, what happens? I'm a little worried about my son. He just hit his teenage. It seems like he's okay because yeah, I asked him a lot of time because we just came here, right? I asked him that did you ever bullied or anybody? Did you ever face racism? The answer he gives me, why would people bully me? Why? What's the reason? So I'm confused whether he's not sharing. And most of my anxiety comes for them. That are they okay? Is anything happening in their life? What can I do to make their life better? What can I do to make them? I won't say happy because happiness is very temporary thing.
Yeah.
What can I do so I can make them stronger so that they can survive in this world without me? That gives me anxiety. And yeah, to tell you the truth, I'm a very positive person. And I've learned meditation. I used to do meditation. And when I matured, I grew up, I studied my religion. Religion is one of the very big tool because when you know you have connection with the creator who is supreme power and you are backed by a supreme power, then you don't feel any fear because you have that in your mind. I'm backed by the supreme power. I have connection with him, or there is someone I can talk to in prayers, even if I have no way. So that's okay for me. I'm positive. I have no depression, nothing. But yes, I have anxiety regarding my children, and sometimes work pressure, study pressure.
Yeah. I definitely understand where you're coming from. Yes, sometimes the children may kind of close up and not want to tell us what they are going through. Another way to make them talk is to share a real life experience or a story that you heard or a news that you read. Maybe you read about somebody who usually sits at a place in his class and another student used to come and put some water on the seat for the kid. And because of that, the child is no longer happy. So you can just share it like, oh guys, do you know what I heard today? Do you imagine I heard that there was a boy that was sitting down and this schoolmate is putting water on his seat? That is bad. I hope you guys are not experiencing anything like that. If they are more likely to tell you because now it is not like you are questioning. You tell me, are you facing bullying? Are you sure nobody is bullying you? They don't feel on the spot. They feel it's a conversation.
And they're smart.
Yeah, they are very smart. They know when you're trying to wind them. They know.
Yeah, many times when me and my husband fight, my daughter comes to me. Even though you're right, my daughter, she's 7 years old. Even though you are right, just keep quiet. Oh my God!
Yeah.
You're telling me this?
Yeah.
You understand, Mama?
Yeah.
Yes, I do understand. Mama. Then why, when you fight with your brother, why don't you
keep quiet? So that's it, and it's normal. Let me say it's normal as a parent to feel anxious about our children because we want the best for them.
Yeah.
We love them.
Yeah.
We are always looking out for them. But we can only do our best and keep calm. Try different activities with them. Like I said, the best way is sharing stories. You might even share your own personal story. Maybe maybe when you were in school, people used to bully you a lot. Maybe they used to tell you are too thin or you are too slim. And because of that, you were not happy, you don't like attending maybe one particular class. You can say, oh, let me tell you what happened. Do you even know when I was in elementary school? There was this boy in my school that used to take my hijab, or there was this girl that used to tell me I was too slim. Oh my goodness, I don't like to go to the assembly. When you say that, they will want to share their own experience too. And that way, they normalize sharing those, let me say, not so positive things they are going through in school. Sometimes going for a walk with them, let's go for a stroll, let's go for a drive. In that less formal environment, they might be more likely to share how they really feel with us. As parents, we need to be positive mentors of mental health, because if we are not able to cope mentally, we are giving them like a mirror of how to handle their stresses. But we want to be a positive mirror to them. So when we are going through stress, we need to project a positive way to manage it, so that when they ever happen to go through stress, they can remember, oh, my dad used to say, take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. It really works.
Yeah.
If you take 3 deep breaths and you find that you exhale, you feel a little calmer, or you sit down. Do you know it's been found that it's very difficult to get angry when you're sitting down?
Yeah.
That's why you see when somebody is angry, they suddenly get up. Maybe they're sitting down, but they'll get up and start getting angry. But if they are sitting down, the level of the anger is very difficult.
Maybe that's why in our religion it said that if you get angry, if you are standing up, you sit down. If you are sitting down and you got angry, then you better go lie down. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, could be. So those are the kind of coping strategies we can teach our children.
Yeah.
Breathing, mindfulness, meditation, sit down, keep quiet, drink some water, take a walk. By the time you come back, give it some minutes. Because sometimes when you give something like 10-15 minutes to think about it, sometimes it's like, why am I even bothering myself? Like, there's no big deal in this thing. Why am I stressing myself?
Yeah.
So it's something we have to keep learning. It's something we have to keep working on, because, like I said, you can see it's a continuum. We are up, we come down, we go up, we come down. We are struggling to keep ourselves up at the top of that continuum. So I know we want to talk more, but for the official recording, I would like to ask us, is there one topic you would like us to discuss next month?
Maybe last one was
Cancer.
Cancer. Maybe we can talk about healthy diet.
Healthy diet, good. So our next topic will be healthy diet, and we'll be looking at maybe some of the vegetables we have here that we are not used to, so that we can see the nutrients that are there and possibly learn how to prepare them. And that way we can incorporate them, because that's one of the reasons why we struggle with healthy diet. So thank you very much. Our next episode will be on March, the second Thursday. If I'm right, that might be March 12th, 6 p.m. here at the library. So thank you so much. You have a very lovely night.
I'll write it down. And the video, the last one, Angelo's story,